Okay, so this morning I'm going to speak to you about opening your mind to more possibilities than you would normally do. And what I mean by that is just being able to have some dreams in your life, something that you really think maybe outside of the realms of possibility for you, but it possibly isn't. And therefore you've got to dream big, because if you don't dream big, you'll never achieve big. Okay, and let me give you an example of that. When I was small, I went to a school in quite a poor area of London, and in that area of London, most of the children really were going to become mechanics, nannies. We were expected to possibly be typists and so on. And please don't get me wrong, there is absolutely nothing wrong with these jobs, but we were kind of expected to go into certain jobs, and the expectation just wasn't there for us to do anything much more than that. And as a child, you kind of just go along with that. You kind of start to believe what everyone else is believing for you. And so this is what I thought was, my possibilities. And I started working actually when I was just 12 years old in the market. And I may have actually mentioned this before, but that's what I started to do. And I loved it so much. I threw myself into it. I had such a good attitude for it. I absolutely loved it. I was getting up at really early in the morning and travelling on the underground to get there, and at such a young age, and I just loved it and threw myself into it. So I started in my mind to dream, and what I was dreaming about is to one day own my own market stall. Okay, and I'm so serious. I remember going home and saying to my parents, I've decided this is what I want to do. I want to have my own stall. And but I knew that in order to take everything with me, I had to have a vehicle, and I wouldn't be able to drive until I was 17. And I was still having these conversations when I was, I think, probably by now about 14. And I said to my dad, would you be able to get a van? Would you be able to be the driver and drive the things for me? And, bless him, he was up for it. He said, yes, we should be able to do that and everything. And so for some time, this was actually my dream. But if my mind had have been opened to lots of other options earlier, I almost certainly wouldn't have been dreaming about being a market trader. And please don't get me wrong, there is nothing wrong with that, but it probably wouldn't have been my choice. I may have at some stage been thinking about doing something with the sciences, because I was quite good at science. I was quite good at maths. And I may have been thinking about something, but it wasn't an expectation on me. So I had to, in my mind, dream of things that were within my reach. Okay. Well, since then, I went to work. My first job, incidentally, was in a travel agent's, and I went to work. And again, I threw myself into that, and then I became a manager in the travel industry, and I threw myself into that. And I had the right attitude. I wanted to learn. I just loved working, and then I started to teach. And when I was first teaching, I was actually teaching that about tourism, okay, which coincided with the job I'd been doing. And then I suddenly realised that why had I been restricted by what other people thought I could do, and from there I started to teach. I became a curriculum leader, I became a head of department, I moved from a college into a school, I became an assistant principal, I became a vice principal, and so on. And this is because this ceiling had been taken away from me. I suddenly realised that there wasn't a ceiling stopping me from doing things. I could actually look up and go as high as I wanted to go, and there was nobody that should be, you know, sitting there and telling me, no, this is what you should do. So if you have a dream, don't let people think that it's not possible for you. You really must spread your wings and try to go for it. And if you don't reach it, then you would have got a lot nearer. But the chances are that you will actually reach it, because I do believe that your own values of yourself are probably very, very accurate. And therefore you've got to release those and allow yourself to realize who you are and what you can do. Now, sometimes that actually would require you know, speaking to other people, you know, speak to a whole range of people. Some people are blockers. Some people that you speak to will quite happily keep you down. Other people like to see you fly, and so speak to a good range of people. It may be that you need to speak to a coach, or that a coach can help you to take away the obstacles that either you or somebody else is putting in your way. But the most important thing is that if you have a dream, if you want to be something, if you want to do something, it is entirely possible. But you've just got to take down the barriers and allow other people to help you to take down the barriers. Really what I'm saying is those barriers may have been put there by you, okay, your own worth, or they may have been put there by somebody else, as in my case, the teachers that felt that, you know, there was certain things we could do and certain things that we couldn't. So don't limit yourself. The sky is your limit and beyond, and it's so important, because once you find what it is you should be doing and you fly towards it, then seriously, your confidence will grow and your whole life becomes a different game, and something that you can really enjoy. We only get one life, so seriously, you have to live it, and live it with a vengeance. Okay, so thank you very much, but please take off the ceiling.